How are you? AC here at Smellsgood. Do appreciate you clicking the link. And today we're going to look at a lesser known fragrance by Versace, and it's called Versace Man. So this fragrance is not talked about a lot, but as I will explain to you, it's got a it's a fantastic fragrance. It's very unique, and it should be tried. It should be given some spotlight. So let's start with the fragrance. I think this fragrance was released back in 2003, if I'm not wrong, and this would be classified as a spicy Oriental tobacco-based fragrance. So let's start with the actual bottle presentation and the atomizer, and then we'll get to the fragrance. So guys, here is a look at the bottle. As you can see, this might remind you of another fragrance by Versace called Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Yeah, but that is where the similarities actually end. Versace Man has absolutely no similarities to Eau Fraiche. If you already own Eau Fraiche, this is a completely different fragrance, and we'll look at the fragrance in a minute. But let's spend some time looking at the packaging. This is quite a unique one, so I'm spending some time around it. Look at the packaging. I mean, this is sort of burgundy in color, and it's got a kind of a embossed sort of a snakeskin type texture, which gives you an idea that it's kind of a dark scent, but it's not. And I could not understand the connection between the packaging and the bottle and the fragrance, but I'll tell you one thing: it's a really nice presentation and a really nice fragrance, made in Italy. This one is a 100 ml bottle. So next, look at the atomizer quickly. This atomizer, the bottle also has a very unique feature. It's called it's golden colored, which I really like. I mean, it makes the bottle look really nice. Dark burgundy gold combination, fantastic. The atomizer isn't the greatest, so if you're relying on number of sprays as a measure for how much to apply, you might have to probably double that up, because the spray is not the best in the world. You'll get probably a very small spritz, good distribution, but we'll get to the number of spritz in a second. So over to fragrance now. So guys, let's start with the spray and get to what the fragrance is like. As I said, I'm going to use 2 spritz, because normally I use 1 spritz, but this one is not the best in terms of the amount of juice that comes out. I also have a dry down at the upper part of my arm. So let's start with what the fragrance is like. You know, this is a fragrance which has got no known similarities to the current ones. This is why I like it the most. It's a very unique scent. The first thing you will smell, it's an orangey blast, flowery, and a flower which you might have smelled. It's called Angelica. So Angelica blossoms have a very sharp orangey, herbal, uplifting aroma. Yeah, very uplifting, and that's how it starts. It's a sharp scent, very sharp floral opening. If you have smelt a herb, or sorry, an aroma called myrrh absolute, this will actually give you some kind of similarities to myrrh absolute. Angelica, if you have not smelt it, I can tell you that it's one of the most invigorating, energizing fragrances. So this is how it starts. It's got this amazing flowery, fresh, sharp, zesty opening. It's more leaning towards the spicy side, because that's what the heart is all about. Within 1 or 2 minutes you will get to the heart of the fragrance. The heart of the fragrance has 2 of my favorite herbs, yeah, or spices I should call them. One is cardamom and the other one is saffron. Now if you have smelled saffron, a lot of Spanish food, Indian food like biryani may contain saffron. Even Moroccan food contains saffron. Saffron also has a color which is vibrant yellowish orange. It's a very vibrant spice. So You might want to sniff a little can of saffron to get an idea. Very unique. So it starts off, with angelica, bergamot, slight orangey, sharp opening, and goes straight into a spicy kind of a heart. And that, cardamom does wonders to fragrances. But if you don't like cardamom, you may not like it so much, but I suggest you give it a try. So the cardamom and the saffron more so, gives it that multi-layered depth. That is where the fragrance comes up to the surface and says, hello there, I'm something unique. And it is really unique. In the current fragrances that I've smelled, I haven't found anything that smells like this. So it gives you that sudden feeling that you're wearing something unique, and it's really appreciated by a lot of people. The most amazing comment I have had was from a very stylish, slightly older lady, and she told me, you smell like a very rich man. To which I said, thank you. But that was quite unexpected. She was a stranger on the train on travel to work. So you can imagine that this has some kind of an appeal, which is very unique. You have to smell this. The fragrance goes into the base notes to dry down in about 15-20 minutes. You can smell the base coming in, and that's where they've made it even more interesting. So in terms of how this develops, from the sharp, citrusy bergamot to slightly spicy, then it goes into the base, which has got an interesting note again, which I find very interesting, is tobacco leaves, not rolled cigarette leaf. Versace Dreamer is just amazing tobacco note. They have got those bits here. It's more tobacco leaves and slight bit of sweetness. So it pushes itself towards slight hint of sweetness, and that comes from amber. But it will be evident in about 15-20 minutes, or maybe even longer. So I've got to dry down, right, which is about 1.5 hours dry down. So when I smell the amber here, it gives me that feeling that this amber is of slightly higher quality than what you would get in a mainstream designer fragrance. So that also makes me happy that the ingredient is slightly higher quality. Through the entire life cycle of the fragrance, you will see that it's got a very decent, very likable floral accord, and it leans towards a herbal floral side. So if you look at the notes, they've got labdanum. And labdanum is a resin which you get from, I think, the stems and leaves of rose or rocky rose plants. It's a herb which has been used since eternity for many things. One of the main uses of labdanum has been to treat wounds, battle wounds or cut wounds, to help the healing process. So that's why I mentioned, it's got this sort of a flowery, balmy sort of a dried out. And this is like wood, which is supposed to be cashmere wood. I've never smelled cashmere wood, so I couldn't confirm or deny. But to me, the dry down is slightly smoky, incensey, sweetish tobacco, which is, perfect combination for a man's scent. I'll tell you another thing. When it is warmer outside, hotter outside, you will get the tobacco note coming up slightly more. When it's cooler, you'll get lesser of the tobacco note. You'll get the more ambery, balmy, flowery note pronounced. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I really do. This is my second bottle. I did not use it for about 3 or 4 years. Last time I used it was back in 2009, I think. Then I bought it again, and it's been with me for about 6 months or so. I've given it about 5-6 wearings, and I enjoy it every time I wear it. So let's talk about the critical factors. This bottle of 100 ml could be had for about 19 to 25 pounds, depends on where you buy your fragrance from. So tremendous value for money. I mean, if you look at the 100 ml bottle for 19 pounds for freshness, for a fragrance that is so unique, so well packaged, it makes me very happy with Versace brand. Versace fragrances are so reasonably priced, and they smell great. People might argue that it's synthetic, it's chemically, but which fragrance isn't? Take any designer fragrance, If they're in the bracket of between, let's say, 20 to 70 pounds, they're mostly chemicals. Only Creed, the ones that I've used, I mean, Creed and Tom Ford can say that they use natural ingredients and the very finest of ingredients, even Aqua di Parma to an extent, but the rest, they all use chemicals. So that's why the price aspect makes me very happy with Versace, all of them. And I'm going to review a few more of them. In terms of, let's talk about projection. So you will find that this is not a projection monster. It doesn't go beyond an arm's length for the first 1 hour and then comes closer. In terms of sillage, it's got a very strong sillage. So this creates a very powerful scent bubble. That's why people smell you. Even after about 4 or 5 hours or in a very crowded place, they will smell you. So it's got that strong bubble kind of a quality. Projection is weak. Sillage, I would say, is sort of medium to strong, but it's persistent. It's a very persistent fragrance, and that's why the longevity is about 8+ hours. Good days and bad days. Tends to last longer on cooler days. Yeah, winter, dead of winter. I've used it in dead of winter. I've used it in summer and spring. I think it lasts longer in winter, but it has that essential, soothing, smart, sort of a sophisticated charm, which makes it very versatile fragrance. So let's talk about occasions. I want this to work, and this is not a projection monster. I have no issues. Not an amazing atomizer, so I've sprayed about 6. In the winter time, I've been days when I've sprayed 10. No issues at all. It's a very nice, very versatile, very sort of a well appreciated fragrance. You will never go wrong with this one. In terms of date scenarios, as I said, the notes are just amazing notes. It's so comforting. It's ideal for date. Evening wear, non-date situations like going to the theater, hanging out with friends in a pub. Absolutely. One of my friends, I was wearing it last Sunday, and we were just meeting in town, went to the theater, and one of my friends says, you're wearing something which I haven't smelled before, and it really smells very decent, very nice indeed. And I said, I gave him the name, and he said, I see. So, you will get really good attention from people, and they do appreciate this. It's a really nice fragrance. In terms of value for money, I've touched on that point. Do excuse me for a second. Yeah, so as I was saying, the value for money is pretty high because it's available at a very reasonable price. So, if you're after a fragrance that smells unique, is sophisticated, classy, has a very soothing effect, you can't go wrong with this one. Not many people know about this. That makes it even more attractive because it's such a nice scent and not very many people know about it. So you'll end up smelling really unique. You will get plenty of good attention. You might be lucky to get a nice compliment from people who appreciate this kind of fragrances. So in summary, a terrific scent which has slightly floral, balmy, herbal dry down. Dry down is magical. The fragrance is multi-layered, starts off very, very high energy, sharp, angelica, flower type approach, goes into the middle with some beautiful sort of spices like cardamom and saffron, gets a whole rounded feel with tobacco leaves, and then goes even deeper, subdued closer to the skin with some very nicely done amber, excellent amber. You have to really put your nose onto this. And as I said, Gavin. So Latin. At the end of the day, this is what I expect a good fragrance to be. The fragrance should be evolving. It should be more or less telling you a story, and the story this one tells you is of how a contemporary, stylish man should smell. Hope you liked the review, and if you do like the review, do give it a like and do subscribe. Till next time, all the best. Namaste. AC signing off. Take care.